No, you're good. All right, appreciate y'all's patience. We're going to call this meeting to order. Everybody please stand. Vice Mayor Bear is going to lead us in prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the rain that we have received. God only knows we need the rain. Lord, I pray for all of our first responders that you protect them as they do their jobs. Watch over the board as we conduct business tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Alderman Sugar, for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You can be seated. And roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick.
Here.
Alderman Cross.
Here.
Alderman Schubert.
Here.
Alderman Benstock.
Here.
Alderman Gillum.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bear.
Here.
Mayor Gibson.
Here. All right, just want to welcome everybody for coming out tonight, and we'll go ahead and get started with the agenda here. And so with that, we'll move on to entertaining a motion to approve and correction in the minutes of the Board of Mayor and Alderman special call meeting dated January 29th, monthly finance report and department reports.
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Sugar, second by Alderman Benstock. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move us on into visitors' comments. Does anybody want to make comment tonight? If no, we'll move right on into business then. Moving into new business, item A, first reading ordinance 26-545, municipal court costs pay per ordinance fee.
Okay, the purpose of this ordinance is to amend Section 3-202 of the Mount Carmel Municipal Code. Authorizes the municipal judge to oppose an offender-based fee per every violation. This fee will offset the cost of our municipal court system.
Entertain a motion to approve that.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Sugar, second by Alderman Benstock. So the floor is open for discussion on that. And this essentially is the same information we went over at the workshop about that.
Yes.
No changes for that.
Initially, it'll be $26 per ticket. It may change over time. That's why we did not put a dollar amount in the ordinance. So that'll be maintained administratively. But for now, that will cover the cost, and that will take a $6,500 burden off the town paying for that service.
Does anybody have any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick.
Yes.
Alderman Cross.
Yes.
Alderman Sugar.
Yes.
Alderman Benstock.
Yes.
Alderman Gillum.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bear.
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. Motion carries. Takes us into item number B, discussion and consideration resolution 26-671, participation in 2026 CDBG grant. And Tyler, if you would like to go with that.
Sure. This resolution will support the town's application for a CDBG grant to purchase a new fire tanker. This gives assistance to acquire this equipment, and this authorizes the town to submit the application. There's a 20% match of the grant. The maximum for the grant is $420,000, so 20% of that would be $84,000 in match. And I think that's a great opportunity for us to obtain new equipment at a very discounted rate for the town.
Entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Sugar, second by Alderman Benstock. Floor is open for discussion. Do we know any type of probability on what our odds are to get that grant? I mean, I know the fire department, you all do have to put in some work to, at the same process as before, collecting signatures, doing all of that.
Unless something, no one has informed us yet, my understanding is those surveys last 3 years.
Oh, that's good.
So generally you can get 2 grant cycles out of them before you have to redo them. So.
That's great. And this really is going to be the missing piece of the fleet, as we talked about, for extending services. Can you talk on that for just a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, like we talked about in the workshop, the big thing we miss or big thing we have, or issue we have is the large number of, the large area of non-hydrant areas in town. And then there's even substantially more areas that have hydrants that are extremely weak. So being able to get that water there quickly, and that large amount of water, we're looking at a 3,000 gallon truck, it will be a game changer for the fire department. It also lowers, it's potential to lower our ISO scores. And as I mentioned in the workshop, it also opens the potential for a second station, which would substantially lower our ISO rating. If we were ever to get that tanker, we could put it in the station here, and that would free up our older engine to move into a second station to get that operation.
So based kind of off of what Chief Walker's having to say with that, that's the farthest that we could stretch that dollar by getting it with a matching grant, small investment from the town, getting new equipment, could possibly, long-term affect the ISO rating. Like that's really stretching.
Right. And to speak a little bit more about that, when we did the ladder truck, we purchased used because the funding wasn't there. I mean, for a new ladder truck, we were talking, $2 million. We would be able to, with this grant, we would be able to purchase new. It should last town 30 years minimum. And it over doubles our current water capacity.
Does anybody have any further discussion or questions on that? Roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick,
Yes.
Alderman Cross,
Yes.
Alderman Schugert,
Yes.
Alderman Benstock,
Yes.
Alderman Gillum,
Yep.
Vice Mayor Bear,
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes, motion carries. Takes us into item number C, discussion and consideration resolution 26672, participation in the 2026 LPRF grant.
So this resolution supports our application for the 2026 LPRF grant. That's Local Parks and Recreation through the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. This provides matching funds to provide additional improvements at our park facilities. And this authorizes us to submit the application and commits us to providing the matching funds, which in this case is 25% of the grant amount. The initial intent application that I submitted was for $1 million project, leaving the town with $250,000 investment. We are still working on the formal application, trying to get some plans drawn up, but we are looking at the master plan adopted in 2023 for ideas on what to do next, and those include revitalizing basketball court, one baseball field, and potentially adding a splash pad. So those are some things we're looking at, and also the walking trails, making some improvements there. So it's early stages, but this sets the stage for what we need to do later and gives the state the approval that we did seek the proper channels before we applied for the grant.
Sweet.
Any further discussion on that one? One question I had about that one, that might just be a difference between grants. The first one, the block grant, called out that we get a discount for being a part of the 3-star program.
Mm-hmm.
Does that apply for the LPRF too?
I think it's different. The
Different-
LPRF
different
grant,
chunk of money.
the LPRF grant is usually 50-50 match,
That's right, and they bumped that up
and
to
they
the higher.
changed it to 75-25 because we are a distressed county.
Okay, that's where the discount came. Just to go back and touch on the other one, the 3-star program on the other grant is just a great savings that we get for being a member of the chamber. We make a small investment in the chamber, and it's things like that that makes a huge return on that. Sorry to go off on the other one that we've already passed, but just to point that out. In regards to the park resolution, do we have any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Need a motion in a second.
I'm sorry.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Sugar, second by Alderman Benstock. No discussion. Roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick,
Yes.
Alderman Cross,
Yes.
Alderman Schugert,
Yes.
Alderman Benstock,
Yes.
Alderman Gillum,
Yep.
Vice Mayor Bear,
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. Motion carries. That'll take us into item number D, discussion and consideration Hawkins County ECD future actions.
I'll take that. So I sent you all a memo back on the 19th from the ECD meeting. I know that Mayor Gibson shared the meeting on social media platform for you to be able to watch as well. I'm seeking guidance from you in the end of this. As I said in the memo, I recommend a multi-directional approach to address this situation. First, authorize me to pursue interlocal agreement negotiations for continued services with the district. That doesn't mean we're paying the amount that they asked. That doesn't mean we're paying anything. It just means I'm in discussion with them and navigating this. The second thing is I recommend that working group be established from all the elected representatives and technical experts from all of the impacted jurisdictions to include the county, and develop collaborative solutions that address this situation with a long-term focus. I am still of the opinion that this is a county-wide service that should be paid for with county-wide taxes. That's probably a hard nut to crack, but we need to start having those discussions. The third part is to respectfully but adamantly address the Tennessee legislature with a collective agenda and voice for resolving the dilemma of 911 being legislatively bound, but not including the dispatch elements for efficiency and effectiveness and the maintenance of public safety in our communities. I find it very hard to believe that the legislature of the state of Tennessee created a situation where you're supposed to answer a 911 call and then do nothing with it. Your terminal is to transfer it to a 10-digit phone number of our fire chief or our police chief to do something with. I know that the director has been adamant that they're not a county department and they're not part of the county. So I will use this as the evidence to the contrary. I know they're not a county department, but they are a county-wide service that was formed under the auspices of the county. The county mayor appoints the board members and the county commission confirms that. So I say all that to say the most sense that this makes is that our residents should not be taxed 3 times to fund an operation. And that's basically what it comes out to. They're paying 911 fee as evidenced by the little graph I put in the memo. They're paying 911 surcharge, they're paying county taxes, and they're paying city taxes or town taxes. And at the end of that, I've told you the county receives 62% more from our residents. And I would fathom to guess that most of our county taxes don't come back to the town of Mount Carmel. And that is problematic. So I share that with you all and ask for your authorization to move forward with some of these things. It's going to take each and every one of you to participate in this as well, because this is going to be an elected officials movement that needs to occur. And what that means is everybody on this board, everybody on Churchill's board, everybody on Sir Goinsville's board, and everybody on the county commission is going to have to come to some semblance of understanding that dispatching services is an essential function, not just 911 answering. And that's the troubling part from what I see. So with that, I'll be quiet and I'll answer any questions you all might have.
I got one.
Yes, sir.
Why can't we get the money that we pay on the 911? Why can't we get that? Bring it to Mount Carmel. We take the money.
I think legislatively it's not permitted right now. That's it in a nutshell. I would defer to my legal counsel in the end, but I'm pretty sure that legislatively that money is intended to fund the 911 answering system. It's just like I said in a conversation with the director there. I said, if you're asking me to do my own dispatch, then I want to do my own 911 answering as well. So I want to become the public safety answering point. And he goes, you can't do that. Under the TCA, they won't allow that. Just like the district being the sole proprietor of 911 services, and in their infinite wisdom at the beginning, they chose to be a direct dispatch center. I'm going to tell you that that is the most efficient way to do dispatch, and I don't have any impeachment for how they do it. I do have an impeachment for the fact that a board that oversees that agency allowed it to go into the negative with unilateral choices. And now we're being faced with, as I said in the report, the projected amount is about 5% of our taxable property taxes that come into the town to provide essential services that you all pay. So I hope I answered your question. Legislatively, it's not permitted. Could it be? Possibly.
You did, but there's another question I got.
Yes, sir.
If you look, see what the population of Hawkins County is, then find out what the amount of money we're getting from this 911. They're getting one hell of a big hunk of money. Where's it going to?
With our population, we're paying higher property taxes than most jurisdictions as well. So I can't answer that question. I said this to you all before, I don't believe that there's a revenue problem. I believe that there's a spending priority problem. I believe that the choices that are being made, and look, every service is important. I 100% understand that. But you have to make the hard decisions. When you sit on that board, when you sit in the seat I sit in, we make those hard decisions and we have those difficult conversations. And there's checks that have been written on our dime without our input or without our accountability, let me say. Right now, our residents can come talk to each and every one of you or one of you and hold you accountable for whatever we do in this town. They're paying 62% more to the county and there's no accountability there. That's it in a nutshell from my perspective of this particular issue.
Well, my own personal opinion, what you told me, I'd vote no for it. I don't care. Let the state come in, let's see if they got an answer for it. They're gonna have to go down and check the books.
There's already been audits done. So I'm going to tell you that the audits already exist and they already know. That's why they're under the distressed district title, and the Tennessee Board of Utility Regulation will come in and tell them what to do unless they do something. So that's why they're doing this. That's why they're heading down this road. But the answer is they can't solve a problem that they created in a vacuum, especially when they're asking us to be partners in that. Would you agree? So
I just can't see us approving something like that. Then we got to go out there and tell the taxpayers, yeah, you're going to get a tax increase because of what we did.
I'm not going to say that this is.
into it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that this is going to result in a tax increase right now.
It
But I will tell you in the
will.
future that it's going to result in a tax increase to
will.
maintain the levels of services that you all have defined for the town.
Because those numbers are not fixed.
Correct.
No, they're not.
And that's the other part of this, is the reason why I think legislatively, representation, and all of those things that we're talking about, there has to be cost contained. And what I'm going to explain is, and the director of 911 said this in his conversation, is, 80 to 90% are salaries and benefits. Unilaterally, he decided to elevate salaries and benefits without the benefit of the revenue to support that. Mm-hmm. And taking over a distressed district and everything else and making the changes, I know a little bit about that, obviously. And the frustrating part for me is we still have to live within our means. We still have to stay within a budget line. And that's not what happened here, but it happened under the watch of a board that is appointed by the county mayor and confirmed by the county commission. And the executive director was able to make those decisions unilaterally. I'm not saying that they don't deserve to be paid well, but what I am saying is everybody deserves to be paid well, but if the revenue doesn't support it, you can't do it. And that's the troubling part for me, is decisions were made to do it in spite of the fact that there wasn't revenue to support it. And none of us can do that at our homes. I couldn't do it here because you all would get rid of me. I would certainly hope you would get rid of me.
We would.
I appreciate that. So
But what-
Well, and nobody's an elected official on that board either, correct?
they are, no, they're appointed. They're not elected.
But, no,
Sheriff is elected.
Well,
But he's appointed
right.
by the process.
So there's
he's
nobody,
appointed.
there's nobody on that board that can be held accountable, so to speak.
I mean, I think it'd be a fair statement to say there's nobody that truly faces the voters like we would.
Right,
100%.
that's what I'm,
That is an accurate statement.
yep.
What gets me on it, you guys can answer this question. You've got a lot of people right there right now. I'm not gonna say a lot, but some that's delinquent on their taxes right now because they can't afford to pay them. I don't know how many you got delinquent, but I know there's gotta be some.
And there's usually about 10%.
They just can't afford to pay it. And throwing another bill at them? No, I ain't game for that.
Then what's the solution then? What we do, we gotta do something.
Well, that's the other part is I can throw my hands up and say, and you could say no, but that turns over a problem to my fire chief, my police chief, and the town because we have to come up with a stopgap to fix that. And I can't afford to create a dispatch center and manage a dispatch center for what we would be paying in the interim. So I say all that to say, we do have to come up with a solution that is workable so the public still receives the services that they expect for the service level that you established. And that's the challenge is, I agree with you 100%. I'd like to throw my hands up and go, we ain't doing it, we ain't paying. But I could do that, and then come July 1, Mitch is getting a call on his cell phone, and he has to dispatch units before he's able to get on one and go fight fire or go to a rescue call. Or the police chief is sitting in his office dispatching police units and running NCIC from a computer. So those are difficult things that not everybody can do.
I don't know what the fix is, but
The county needs to feed it.
Well, I mean, that we were presented with a few different options. Authorizing Mr. Stables to continue negotiating on our behalf, attempting to get all parties involved together at the table to have a conversation, lobbying legislature in Nashville. And did I miss one other with that? That was kind of the high.
Hang on, I highlighted them, so.
The interlocal agreement,
Yep.
municipal groups.
You hit it all.
Okay. This isn't, in my opinion, this isn't going to be something that we're going to just pick one of these from this list and do. This is something that's going to take every piece of what we just talked about to do to try to get this to move forward. I don't think it would be in the best interest of Mount Carmel right now to not continue negotiations and just basically refuse to do it. I don't think that's in the best interest of the county, 911, or Mount Carmel. I think that we at least have to go at this with good faith that we can come up with a solution. But I think that all three of those are workable options that we need to continue to try to get all the parties at the table, not just us negotiating on behalf of municipalities. We need all three municipalities to, and the elected officials from that, even not just the representatives or the police chiefs, and I mean this with the most respect, but the elected officials need to be involved in this process too, because of the fact that it's going to directly impact them as well. I mean, I'm not vast on Churchill or Sir Winslow's books, but I'm enough to know that that's going to be impactful to anybody at that type of rate. That we have no guarantees right now with what we've been presented, no representation as has been explained tonight. I think that it's something that we should authorize Jim to continue negotiations, continue working on the interlocal agreement, even if we have to keep doing this on a down to a month-to-month basis to fund it until there's some. Because the problem that we're going to run into though is the county budget won't be completed by July 1. I would about guarantee you that. And so then they won't know. Oh, that's another problem.
So here's the other part of that. I apologize for interrupting, but if I can share.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the director of 911 said that if the county doesn't pay, that he will not dispatch them. Did he not say that? Here's the other problem. I dispatch a fire rescue unit here to a rescue call. How am I gonna get Hawkins County EMS to my call? And so the problem is, our residents who are paying for this are now suffering a consequence because of the short-sightedness of the way this has been designed. It's why I suggest we go with a multi-pronged approach, because each and every one of those things, and I'm so appreciative that you recognize the importance of the elected officials for all jurisdictions to be involved, including the county. Because the county has to go along with the fact that this is a countywide service, and the funding mechanism for $1 million is gonna cost. So do they have a way of carving out pet projects and things like that that are going on in the county? Or does it become a tax increase for county taxes? At the end of the day, I'm not here promoting raising taxes. I'm promoting, let's take a hard look at what we're spending money on at the county level, at every level. And we do that. That's what you have Tyler and I for, and that's what you all do every time we have a conversation. So you talked about direct accountability, that's there. It's not in this particular instance. So.
Well, the thing that the county commissioners also have to understand is that some of them have, like Commissioner Gillum, he's going to have constituents that are going to be affected by those that live within Sikorsville city limits. I believe Commissioner Kearns is over, his district is Churchill city limits. So they have to, they need to be informed as well, because our commissioner can't be the only one.
Agreed.
So with that being said, we need, if anybody wants to take action on this, we would need that in the form of a motion.
I'll
And
make a motion.
I'll second.
well, we're going to need to get the motion out first. What are you making a motion to do? Proceed with all three options?
Proceed with
Whatever
all
you say.
And you good to second that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I have a motion by Alderman Sugar, second by Alderman Benstock to proceed with the three different proposed options for 911 that we've heard tonight. Do we have any other discussion on that? I want to say one thing before we vote with it. I know I made the statement about it and do truly stand by everything that I said in this. I said with it, but again, we'll just stress that it's not the services that I feel like anybody here is upset with, attacking or anything like that, but more just that, as Mr. Stowe said, the board passed a budget that allowed it to go in the negative consecutively and making those decisions as he described. So I just want to make sure to the people on the headsets that it's not anything that we're unsupportive of or don't recognize the work that they do.
Checks and balances.
It's just support management.
It's just checks and balances, as Alderman Shooter said. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Line in their pockets.
Alderman Patrick,
Yes.
Alderman Cross,
Yes.
Alderman Shugart,
Yep.
Alderman Benstock,
Yes.
Alderman Gillum,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bear,
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. Motion carries. So that wraps up the agenda for tonight. I appreciate everybody for coming out and spending a few minutes with us here. Certainly appreciate some of the work that's being done around town from fireplace and senior center and even the library. The library's got some exciting things coming up next week with Dr. Seuss Week. Certainly appreciate the work y'all are doing up there. Strategic planning session will be coming up next week. I really encourage everybody to think about what you want the next year to look like here in the town. What we want to talk about getting into the budget, what we want to look at funding improvements. Be ready to have some of those discussions. I think we're about that point, right? We'll be covering that.
We're gonna, if you mind me interrupting
Sure.
for a second, we're gonna recap what we did last year, the progress we made, talk about, make sure we're all on the same page as far as vision, mission, all those things, and then plan for the next year and potentially out farther than just 1 year.
And I think when we go back and look at that, you all are going to see that over the last year we set at the strategic planning session, we set goals and we've achieved those goals. If it's not completed, it's like on the very finish line of being done. So there's been a lot of work of of getting to that point from our staff, and I certainly just want to continue to acknowledge and recognize all the work that you all do, getting us closer to those goals being completed every day. And so with that, I'll stop talking here and hand it over to the Vice Mayor.
I have nothing.
Alderman Patrick,
No.
Alderman Cross,
No.
Alderman Sugar,
Nope.
Alderman Benstock.
I think we should commend the fire department, police department, the way they handled that emergency they had. It could have been a lot worse, and I think they did a great job. And welcome back, Mindy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Gillen.
Yep.
Mr. Stolz.
I did want to take a moment to kind of talk about last night and what I watched and what I witnessed. So I already know we got the greatest folks here, but I actually got to watch it in action. And, you know, police chief's here, the fire chief's here. I arrived second on this call behind one of our police officers, and being a firefighter and not having gear is probably one of the most miserable feelings that you can ever have, especially when they're talking about an unknown being entrapped in the building. Through the heroic actions of everybody on scene, we did retrieve a victim, and that victim, as of now, is still in a medical facility surviving and in a better way than they would have been if we did not get them out. We also saved one of her pets with those heroic actions. So everybody that was on scene, I got to tell you, I couldn't be prouder in that moment to watch and witness that from my 40 years of experience doing this job, because there is so much pride that the community should have in this fire department and their actions, in this police department and their actions. So I want to make sure that I get that point across, because we're in this fire scene, that's one thing. Everybody in the town does a great job, and I'm going to tell you that I'm telling you that we have the greatest people working here. We absolutely do. And my intention is to make that, you know, the destination that we keep them. So it's the conversation that we continue to have about how do we compete and how do we, people will want to come and work for Mitch. People will want to come and be at this fire department because of what I just witnessed yesterday. People will want to come and work for Chief Larson because of the things that I'm watching and witnessing every day. So for that, I want to say thank you and commend both of you for running outstanding departments.
Thank you. Thank you. I will add, and Jim hit on it, but it's not me. And I think David would agree as well. We have a very, very good group. So it's really not. It's really not. If it was just me, all those things wouldn't happen. So, and I'll be the first to tell you.
I just wanted to add, Officer Mark Lindsay's gonna get up on Wall of Honor in Nashville
No.
in May. I'll have more details on that if anyone's interested in going there.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
And
Thank you.
thank you. And I just want to add one more thing on top of that too. And that's why these little things, these not little things, but that's why these things like this block grant, you know, making sure the police department has the equipment they need. It's because it's I know you see the bright new shiny equipment, but there's those times when that equipment is needed, that equipment's put to use, and without it, it makes a difference. So they need the equipment they need to protect themselves and to go out and do their jobs. And I commend this board for being willing to fund that for those two departments. So I do appreciate that. And I'm sorry, Tyler, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, I have a programming note for you. Next Wednesday is the strategic planning, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be holding it at the fire department in their training room because we're having municipal court here at the same time next Wednesday morning. Okay. So we're going to meet over there, a little bit of change of scenery.
Jim's gonna come fix coffees.
We'll be bringing in lunch for you. We'll have some coffees, things like that when we get started. But anyway, we hope everybody can attend, and just remember to show up over there and not here. Unless you want to go to court.
All right, thank you, Tyler. Alan, anything?
Nothing to add.
All right, so with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion by Alderman Vinstock,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Bear. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Everybody have a safe night.